Aston Villa up against Manchester United. I looked at this and I thought it's a very difficult one to call. Post-match, Emery was the loser, Ten Hag the winner. This was them.
It's football. It's Manchester United, the opponent. Set pieces. They are. We tried firstly to avoid a lot of corner of them, but of course they created some action close to our box and they got some corners and they scored 1 goal. Okay, disappointed, but their power as well is in that action.
Football is about result, and we know we are in a situation we are behind, and if we want to make something of this season, we had to win today. We have to catch up. We are longer in this period, in this position, and now we have to keep the process going and go from game to game.
Of course, Martin, one-time manager of Aston Villa. We'll get to Villa in a second. As for Manchester United, Martin, top four, is it very much back on for them?
Well, it certainly couldn't have been if they'd been beaten yesterday. That would have been an 11-point differential. But yeah, they've given themselves a chance again, which is great, and that's all you can ask for. It was a big win for them yesterday because Aston Villa could easily have beaten them in the game, and that was a big win. And as I say, coming in the back of I think it's 4 in the trot now. It gives them some sort of confidence. It gives them a bit of self-belief, and it gives them a chance. No question about that.
It would be one hell of an achievement if they make it and make top four, Martin, from where they've come from and for everything that they've been accused of.
Absolutely. Again, that would be a terrific achievement. From the position where they're expecting to do, try and achieve that there at the start of the season. Perhaps they were, but from, as you say, Jim, from where they were placed quite a number of months ago, then that would be terrific.
Simon, there's a message, I think, designed to be read out for your benefit. Stop beating around the bush, fellas. Let's talk about United. How's Ten Hag's suit looking now, Simon?
I don't know. How does it look for you guys when you're 6th in the Premier League after spending hundreds and hundreds of millions of pounds and being argued the biggest football club in English football and worldwide? How does it feel for you? I don't know. You beat Aston Villa, who battered you. You beat them 2-1. What does that say?
Well, the result tells you that Manchester United grinded it out and won
Fantastic. You're not in Europe. You're not going to win anything this season. And the best thing you can possibly win is 4th berth. I don't know. If your suit fits well there, it fits well. So
your point is, all right, calm down a bit. Well, you might have improved, but not that much.
My point is that Manchester United, if you've set your standards so low now that you're grateful to beat sides around you. I mean, I know it's the first time that you've won against a side inside the top 8 for about half a decade. So I'm sure you're celebrating that. But notwithstanding that, you are a long way away from, in people's mind's eye, what a Manchester United side should be. You don't win with particular aplomb, do you? You don't win with particular panache. We were just looking earlier on about the idea that West Ham are so dreadful to watch. Then you and I, when looked at the statistics a moment ago, when United beat them 3-0, West Ham had 22 shots on goal to Man United's 9. So is that the old Manchester United of old, or are they a bit more clinical at times and they've got the players to be able to score goals? Look, everybody wants, besides I suspect Manchester City and a few of the other sides that are competing with United, to have a vibrant Manchester United because it's good for the Premier League. And everybody, and I would like to, as a neutral, want to see Man United back to where they once were before because they were a credit to these Isles at times. But there's no argument that they're not the side, and neither should they be given undue praise for.
Although I think Jim's point was that from where they were a couple of months ago, when they set out at the beginning of the season, I think that they would have been thinking that they could make the top 4. Yes.
This references a comment that myself and Souness made, specifically me, at the beginning of the first season, where I didn't think he operated, and I used an analogy, which was basically he doesn't seem to have any presence. He doesn't seem to have the forthrightness of shoulders back, chest out. In fact, his suit don't fit him properly. So that's been now constantly thrown at me as an example of my own ignorance about the fact that his suit didn't fit him.
I see. I didn't know that.
So that's where it comes from. And 18 months later...
Was it silly to say that at the time? When you look back now and you look at him now?
Well, it's silly if you take it out of context, and it's silly if you take it in isolation, if you don't give it the nuance in which I said it, which is, in order for this side to be led out of the wilderness and back amongst the top sides in the Premier League, it needs a manager that can carry it. It needs a manager.
You jumped in quick. I mean, he says that straight after his first press conference. So you didn't give him much time.
I said it after
you did. You got
no,
right
I bloody
into it.
didn't. I said it after they got bashed up by Brentford when they put on the pitch to mark Ivan Toney. right? And said, well, I have something strange about that tactical solution. And ultimately, Souness was saying the same, wasn't he? Have I got you back?
I can't believe what you've just said. Martin.
2 Lukes on the pitch.
Wenger used to say top 4's like a trophy. I mean, you know, if Aston Villa end up top 4, they will feel that they have won something significant this season.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. Since when you think that when the manager took over, that they were really struggling, they've had great results in the calendar year. It's absolutely fantastic, and they can still make the top 4 without a doubt. Yesterday was just a blip, really, in many aspects. I thought they played exceptionally well. They could have scored a lot of goals as well. And,
but there is a wobble, Martin. There's a
I know, but you
2
say,
league wins in the last 7.
You can throw those sort of statistics to me any given time. I know. Listen, throw them.
But
up.
I am doing.
Well, okay, fine. Right, okay. I wonder what it is in the last 12 games. I bet the minute somebody throws up a negative statistic like 2 from 7, it means that 8, 9, 10, and 11, 12 are all victories.
Well, at New
that's
Year,
the
Villa
point.
were second.
Yeah, they were second. So they, as I said to you, sorry, I'm just knocking the microphone. They've had a bit of a blip. Fine. Okay, that's all right. But they can fight back, and they've got the ability to fight back, and they wouldn't have lost any confidence at all from yesterday's performance.
Yeah. I mean, if you're our Emery in the dressing room afterwards, you're saying to them, well, I'll tell you what, you had a tilt there today.
Yeah, he'll be really disappointed because he thought he would get something out of the game. And I think he did say beforehand this was a 6-pointer in the sense that if it's Manchester United, they can go 11 points clear of them, and then that takes care of Manchester United, or they can actually leave the gap at 5 points, and that's what it is at the minute. Fine, it's exciting, it's good news, but I think that Villa well, of course any team can fail at the end of it.
Yeah,
but I'll tell you what, they've got a decent side there, and they've got a really good manager, and
I understand that, but they've gone from outsiders to favourites. You know, they've come from nowhere really to be tipped to be top 4.
Okay, the
landscape's changed.
Yes, that excuse me, that is true. That is absolutely true. You think you're going along nicely outside the radar. Absolutely fine. Then suddenly the attention's on you because you've had 3 or 4 or 5 victories in the trot, and now you put yourself into that position. And the first thing that people will say, "Oh, it's yours to lose now."
Yeah,
that old famous phrase, "Yours to lose."
Yeah.
But I think Villa still have enough.
I mean, you've been there, Martin. You guided them into a very good position when you were at Villa.
Yeah, thank you for telling me.
No, I'm not having a swipe at you.
No. I did. Yeah, we finished top 6 for
could happen
3 consecutive years.
Yeah.
They have. Yeah, and they've got a lot of players. They've spent a fair amount of money now at the time as well too. Some players are coming onto games. The boy Bailey is starting to play really, really well for them. And perhaps maybe the one that I thought would do really well and has had a bit of a struggle is Diaby. But even so, give him a little bit of time. But they're fine. They're really fine. They're a good side.
Is it your belief making top 4 is as good as a trophy? Champions League football. Is that it? That is the goal. Is it?
It does, Simon. Absolutely does.
Why are you helping him?
For Aston Villa at this minute to finish in the top 4 would be as good as a trophy. Yes. From their history, they've won the European Cup. That's a different issue. But we're talking now about today.
Yeah,
that's the point. So and is that what Aston said? The top 4 was as good as a trophy. That's probably because he got knocked out of the League Cup probably early on in some match or other. No. But,
were you not a fan of Wenger's, Mark?
Not just nothing to do with being a fan of Wenger's. If the world stopped now, Arsene Wenger is one of the great managers. A really, really great
manager. But on a personal basis, you didn't.
But we had our ups and downs. It doesn't really matter. But he's a great manager. There's no question about it. Took the fight to Sir Alex Ferguson, and the two sides were at it there for years and years. So no, terrific manager. No question about it. It was just the fact that he gave no credence to the cup competitions at the time until that they started to struggle a bit in the league, and then suddenly the cup games became very, very important. But outside that, we're all fine.
That's fine. He was at the Ivory Coast win last night. He won't be listening. Oh, he might be.
Well,
he'll certainly hear about it.
I hope he's listening.
I hope he's listening too.
Well, his little stool pigeon, member of his cult, the one who drinks the Kool-Aid, old Keown will tell him about.
He did say through a mutual friend, Steve Kuttner, that he would actually take us out for something to eat. So I'm waiting. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to putting a couple of things right. Listen. That was the message coming through.
No hard feelings, though. But he owes you a meal.
Hard feelings. Do I have any hard feelings?
If he brought Marinakis with him, would you enjoy that meal?
No, because I probably wouldn't get anything to eat that night.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.